not taking personal readings at this time. Please do not get scammed by people posing as me in the comments section. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel, Roseology. So today's reading, we are looking into something really fun. I asked you guys a few pick a card readings ago to leave your suggestion down for a new pick a card reading. And some of you guys suggested a reading on your witch wounds and how you can heal them. And I just thought that that was such a fascinating, interesting topic. I've never done a reading like that before. So that's what we're looking into today, is what witch wounds your soul may be carrying from past lives or just from the past. If you don't subscribe to the idea of reincarnation, then this can be certain wounds or traumas that you may have inherited from your upbringing or from your childhood or from some sort of a past experience that may have really shaped who you are, and how to essentially heal that wound, how to transcend it, how to transmute it, how to get past it, and how to channel it into purpose. So that's what we're looking into today, is your witch wound, how you can clear it from yourself, mentally, psychically, ancestrally, energetically, spiritually, all the things. So yeah, let's just jump, or actually let me show you guys the oracle decks that I'm using in today's reading. So we have a past life oracle cards, the Akashic Truth Oracle deck, and the Green Witches Oracle deck. So getting to the disclaimers in the meditation, obviously this is a general reading, meaning that it will resonate with who it is meant to resonate with. Tarot does not control or dictate your life. If you hear something that you do not like or agree with and think that you're just fixed to that reality, then you are not using my readings correctly. I conduct these readings for confirmation, not answers. If you hear something for the first time, please do not take that message without receiving further confirmation from your higher self and spiritual team. Realize at the end of the day, you have the final say with your destiny. Your free will is your superpower, and what you choose to do with it will determine your life outcomes, not a pick a card reading on YouTube. So please be responsible and accountable for your own actions, and use this as a guide to help decipher the messages that your spiritual team has been trying to send you all along. If you would like to participate in this meditation, this is a general reading for the collective. So in order for this reading to resonate with you, you need to be personally synced into the energy of this reading. To help you do that and help you select a pile with your third eye, not your physical ones, I will be offering a 60-second meditation. Halfway into it, I will be placing some objects for my clairvoyants that like to pick piles with objects on them. And after the clairvoyant pile selection, there will be a clairaudient selection where I play a different tone for each pile. And you can select a pile based off which tone resonates with you the most. If you're drawn to another pile, that's because there is another message for you in that pile. So if you're ready, get into a relaxed position, become aware of your entire body, starting with your feet and working that awareness up in sections from the feet to the head. Then take a deep breath in through your nose for around 5 seconds, hold that breath for 3 seconds, and then exhale for 6 to 7 seconds. Then ask your guides, spirit, ancestors, the universe, or all of them, to connect you to your higher self, so you can receive confirming messages as to the witch wounds that you are still carrying and how to heal them. So this is pile number 1. Pile number 2. So this is pile number 1, the bee. Pile number 2, the altar. And pile number 3, the cauldron. On pile 1 is this compass. On pile 2 are these keys. On pile 3 is this palm reading hand. Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be starting off with you guys' tarot cards. Then we'll be pulling some oracle messages to look into what witch wound you have and how to heal it. So starting off with the energy of your witch wound, we have the Four of Wands. And how to heal this wound, we have the Ten of Wands. All right, Pile 1, your witch wound with the Four of Wands, it comes from like a painful memory because the memory is so good or it's so happy. It's very bittersweet with the Four of Wands here, almost like being haunted, because the Four of Wands is your heritage, it's your ancestry, your lineage, your culture, community, your upbringing is all connected to magic and power. You come from a powerful line of ancestors, or your culture, your background, something about it is very magical and special. And it's like your native roots, where you come from. People celebrated their powers and their beliefs. They venerated them, and they were deeply spiritual and very connected. Four of Wands is the card that says we're connected in fire, which is AKA spirit, right? This is the card where people are called together. Or we're dealing with the Four of Wands. They're called together. They come together to create and sustain an environment where each other's purpose serves one another. Because in the Four of Wands, people are brave enough, they are courageous enough to follow their want, to follow the fire, to follow their light that is leading them somewhere. You know, when you resonate with something, you just feel called to it. You feel pulled towards like a magnet. That is what happens in the Four of Wands. People listen to their calling and they are led by it. And what they end up finding is a community of other people that have also listened to their calling, and they were also, they were also brave enough to follow it. And they ended up finding other people that were just like them, that were courageous like them, that were brave like them. And through that, they were able to build this community where these souls just came together in purpose. And so, you know how every community, like it needs a doctor and a teacher and a storyteller, I guess we could say, or like a record keeper. Everyone has a place and a purpose in a community and somewhere that they belong when it comes to the Four of Wands. And that's what they are celebrating in this card. This is why you see two people here welcoming the reader in the Four of Wands. When you pull the Four of Wands upright, you see two people welcoming you, and they're basically saying, welcome home, like we've been waiting for you, in other words. So it's something that's destined. It's something that's fated. That's what the Wands deal with. Fire deals with destiny. It deals with fate and us being led there by our spirit, because the spirit resonates with things. And when we resonate with something, it's like our spirit, our soul has left this breadcrumb trail and said, hey, follow this, you follow these little bits of inspiration, because it's going to lead you to where you're meant to go. And that's how it connects you to your destiny. So that's your witch wound. Crazy enough, your soul remembers, in other words, a place and a time where your beliefs and your magic were respected. It was peaceful, progressive, beautiful, meaningful. People came together through their beliefs, and it felt like a family. And then it was taken away, or you were separated from that sense of home or that homeland, and your practices went from being normal to demonized. Another scenario here with the Ten of Wands is a change of times. So it could have just been like maybe a oppressive force moved in, and maybe they colonized your people or stripped you of your culture and your rights. Or this could have been like a social agenda where a different set of beliefs or even religion was forced on your people and where you come from. Or maybe it was like a different culture. Maybe your culture and traditions merged with another set of traditions and culture, and it just kind of got mixed in or forgotten or erased because of that. So again, this could have been just a product of the times. Your witch wound is a haunting memory of happier and more simple times. It's like you didn't know there was another way to live or think. It was just natural where you come from, either in a past life or in your past, depends on what you subscribe to. Your soul, your spirit literally remembers being in a community where your beliefs empowered you. It was beautiful. And it was like your beliefs were the glue that held this community together. Your soul still remembers this so intensely that this still feels natural and normal, which is why some of you may have always had a strong reaction when you reconnect with your roots and where you come from or your ancestry, or you learn more about it. You may just feel like this feels normal. This feels like home. This feels natural. This is me in my element. You may have a strong visceral reaction where you just instantly recognize, like, this is what I'm used to. This is what I come from. And I got a loud ringing in my left ear as well. So some of you too, you may work very closely with a feminine energy. This could be a feminine energy that's been kind of guiding you as well. A ancestor who has very strong feminine energy. When you guys see your ancestors, dream of your ancestors, they may come to you in the form of a woman, or they could speak to you very strongly through your emotions. So there could be certain, even like, I don't even know how to describe. There could be like tribalistic, imagery. There could be certain sounds or music, like drums. You know how drums it sort of brings something out of people where they just feel deeply connected. It's like very primal. Drums are very primal, right? You guys you may hear certain things or see certain things, and because it's native or it's something ancient and old, it may just like bring this deep emotion out of you where you don't know where it comes from. And that would be it. It's deeply connected to your witch wound. How you heal this wound is the 10 of Wands right here. Okay. So either, again, there was an oppressive force that maybe moved in and demonized your culture and your beliefs, or this could also be you guys being possibly like born into a family, or maybe you were born into a culture or a community, this particular incarnation where they rejected the practices that feel natural to you. You were taught that what is natural to you is wrong. You were born remembering the power of your ancestors that is in your blood for you. But your family, for example, they may be completely unconnected from the power in your lineage, or they may even see it as like antiquated or uncivilized or old school or evil or pointless or like it doesn't work, or they just simply might not believe in it. So you might feel like the only person in your family or your community carrying the knowledge or purpose or practices or beliefs of your ancestors. You might feel misunderstood or like the black sheep because of this. How you heal this wound, pile one, is to wear your beliefs loudly and proudly. Okay. Do not shrink or hide them away. Don't suppress them. Don't shut them out. Don't ignore them. The more you try to distance yourself from what feels natural to you, the heavier this is going to feel. Okay. A lot of you, because it's like a fish swimming upstream, or like a fish swimming against the current. It's just, you have to lean into what feels right for you. This is about wearing your beliefs like a badge of honor. A lot of you probably are closeted practitioners of maybe magic or witchcraft or occultism or esotericism or ancestor veneration or Buddhism or whatever, your beliefs may be. You probably practice alone, and some of you may even still keep up appearances by continuing to, go to church, for example, or still celebrate certain holidays or participate in certain traditions, even though you don't agree with them or even though you might not resonate with them anymore. How you heal your wound, pile one, is by carrying the weight of this ancestral memory, even if no one is willing to carry it with you, even if no one believes with you. This is not about becoming the oppressor. In other words, it tries and pushes your views onto others the way that it was done to you or your people, but instead it's about venerating these practices with pride, respecting them, and being an example or a representation of how sacred they are, how beautiful they are, and representing the spirit that still lives within these traditions, calling it back up, keeping it alive. And also, by you being bold enough and audacious enough to embrace the ways of your ancestors, it awakens others around you who also feel called to do the same thing, but may not feel brave enough. With your Four of Wands right here, you are waking up other people's courage to embrace their ways by living as boldly as you can. It's not easy. Your ancestors realize what has been placed on your heart and how that could leave you feeling like this wound is such a heavy burden. That is this memory with the 10 of Wands right here. But this path can only be walked by the few souls that chose it. Your soul chose this path for a reason. And so you heal it by doing the work, falling headfirst into researching what your ancestors believed in, what they practice, listening to those callings. When you feel called or led, like I should go visit this place, or I should go pick up this book, or I should go talk to this person, or I should go look into this, follow these things. These are, again, this is like a little breadcrumb trail left by your ancestors and your spirit saying, keep following this path, keep following this road. It's leading you somewhere. And again, it's going to be a path that feels like the 10 of Wands. It's going to feel like a heavy thing that you're carrying, because you're probably going to get stopped in a lot of ways where it's like every time you try to research it, you run into a dead end because there's no information on it. Or, there may have been, these traditions may have been passed down orally and there's not a lot of records kept of it. Maybe there's a lot of people in your family that don't know anything about what you're talking about when you ask questions. So a lot of it, you're going to have to pick up on information and do your research by trusting your spirit, trusting in your ancestral team around you. And that may be what feels heavy for you, is like, I don't have, any books that I can pick up. I don't have anybody that I can ask or talk to. There's no one that can really clear this up for me. It's not as simple as just deciding to walk the path that your ancestors did or that your people did by just waking up and doing it one day. I mean, something has been lost to time here with 2 Wands cards. And so that may feel very heavy in a sense where you're trying to figure out how to honor this way. But again, you guys heal this by embracing this path and by defiantly walking it, no matter who does and does not agree with you, with the 10 of Wands right here. He is carrying all this weight on his own, as you can see. Okay, so this is how you guys heal it, following the path that you were naturally taught to resist or run away from or go in the opposite direction with your 10 of Wands over here. That's how you heal it. So let's start grabbing some oracle cards. I'm just going to pull from this past life oracle deck. We're just going to see what we get. Okay, let's just see what we get. See if there's anything significant about what you need to know about your witch wound and your past life. Okay, this says, hold on. Okay. We have wars and battles. This is what I was saying. An oppressive force may have moved in. Okay. Somebody may have moved in, maybe like a different country or some sort of leader that was maybe tyrannical or something. And they tried to erase your culture. They tried to erase you guys' traditions and your practices and your beliefs, right? Because there was some sort of war and a battle. Underneath that is knighthood, galactic, and Greco-Roman. This could be, you guys could have very deep ties to Greco-Roman's, like Greece and Roman culture mixed in, right? I think something like that. I'm not sure, but you guys could have a deep affinity or calling towards like maybe Greek mythology or Roman mythology. You could feel very called to the stars as well. You could feel like the place that you come from, this like really peaceful community that celebrated its beliefs that your soul remembers. It could have something to do with like a starseed civilization. So you could feel like you are Andromedan, for example, or something like that. And that could be what your soul remembers as well. And this is why maybe a lot of you don't resonate with Earth or with this earthly human mundane experience because of that. And then we have here knighthood. Knighthood card is kind of telling me that you guys were like kind of born to almost fight for these beliefs, to preserve them, to keep them safe. It's like you guys were knighted. You were spiritually knighted to keep these beliefs safe and to almost bring them back, almost like a resurgence. So you guys may feel as though like you're almost like leading some sort of a resurgence. We also have here underneath the deck imprisonment or slavery. So yeah, again, you guys, it could have been something where, again, you guys' beliefs were oppressed in a way where you were punished. Your people could have been punished, or didn't I kind of say that? Like your beliefs were demonized by whatever this oppressive force was. Yeah. So it definitely could have been, you guys could have been like punished or something like in a past life, or even like your ancestors, they could have been punished for trying to maintain and keep their beliefs safe. They may have had to practice in private, right? They may have had to kind of almost like go underground. It reminds me a lot of too, for a lot of African Americans, like our ancestors, the beliefs that they had, the traditions that they had, they couldn't necessarily practice them here. Our ancestors that were enslaved. So they started to kind of mask their beliefs behind Catholicism or Christianity. And so that's how a lot of saints and stuff got connected or associated to other deities and other entities and other energies and stuff like that. And it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. So that could have been something that happened as well, something similar with you guys here. Let's get a message from you guys as Akashic Records. Also, too, you guys should know that the dreams that you have a lot of the times, these are past life memories coming to you through your dreams. So you guys, you may be gifted in like past life, you like recalling people's past life memories, stuff like that, or helping other people like release repressed memories, conjure work as well. You may be gifted in. Let's see what we get here. Okay, we have release judgment and then we have protect. Interesting. Again, this is that knighthood kind of message that came through. You guys were like born to protect, and even sort of like resurface these old practices and ways and traditions and beliefs. But we have here release judgment that says holding on to judgment, whether of yourself or others, only clouds your vision. Release it and see the world and your path with clearer eyes. This is about releasing judgment. This is that 10 of Wands. This may be the heavy burden that you guys feel like you're carrying. When it comes to your witch wound, you may feel like you are carrying a lot of judgment, a lot of criticism, a lot of opinionated people may be around you. You guys may have even been born into a very closed-minded community or a culture where they just didn't, embrace these old ways. And so, and look on this protect card right here, they look like that knight right here. Like they've got a shield on, they've got armor. It says you're being asked to protect yourself and your energy. It's okay to want to give to others, which you do effortlessly. It's important though that you set healthy boundaries with your energy before doing so. Now is the time to get some protection in place. You guys were called to protect these beliefs or traditions. It's almost like your ancestors using you as like almost like a spiritual warrior in order to protect these old practices, for sure. Okay, let's grab a message here about your witch wound. What else do you need to know? Wow. Okay, we have here B underneath look at what B says, you guys. Look at what B says. We have moth as well. B says community, cooperation, sweetness. This is your 4 of Wands that we were talking about. This is that community where you guys all work together. And it was like your beliefs, you guys' practices. It was the glue that brought your community together and a lot of peace. And then we have here moth here that came out for you. Mystery, concealment, and illusion. This sort of reminds me what I was talking about, where it's like you guys, like after the suppressive force moved in, or maybe it was just a change of the times, where you guys had to, in order to preserve your traditions and your practices, you had to almost like combine them or merge them with something else, and maybe even like disguise them, under some other widely accepted belief system or religion or practice or something like that. With mystery, concealment, and illusion right here. So very interesting. I'm actually going to read both of these out of the book for you. So one second. And the message for moth about your witch wound says, while some species of moth are diurnal, we tend to associate moths with the night. Moths are the beautiful night pollinators doing important work under the cover of darkness. Moths are often compelled to seek out the light, even though it may endanger them. Moths like butterflies often have markings that disguise them, tricking predators into assuming they are something other than what they truly are. Again, this is total confirmation of that message, that it's like you guys had to almost take your practices and like underground and disguise them behind other beliefs, pretty much. It says this illusion serves as protection, and we have the protect card for you right here, the knighthood card that we talked about as well. It says the moth card tells you that perhaps something around you isn't what it seems. Look for the truth and follow the light. This is that follow the light, what we were talking about with the Four of Wands. This is people following their spirit, following the light, following what resonates with them. It says, look for the truth and follow the light, but do not let yourself be blinded. There may be something in your life that needs illumination in order for you to take control. The reflection here says, what in your life needs illumination to enable you to see past a surface level illusion? That is what feels so heavy about this for you guys. When it comes to healing your witch wound, with the Ten of Wands, is there's so much illusion around your witch wound. There's so many lies that have contributed to the wound that you guys have been carrying that is connected to your power, just your internal power, the power that you were born with, the magic that you were born with has been so deeply demonized, has been so demonized over time that it can be very difficult for you guys to break through that illusion, to realizing that there is nothing inherently wrong or evil or bad about what I resonate with, about what God looks like to me or what it is to me or what my magic is to me. But it's just about being able to break past all of that, propaganda, I want to call it. It's kind of like propaganda. This is like decades, centuries, generations worth of drumming an idea into people that, hey, like your culture is bad or it's wrong or it's evil. Okay. And the witch wound message here for B says, you guys may be very drawn to bees. They may even be very drawn to you, or moths as well. You may be dreaming about them too. But B says here, bees inspire thoughts of sweetness and community. Bees work together, functioning in cooperation with others to advance the health and safety of their entire hive. This is your Four of Wands, you guys. Communication is central to this goal. In the end, though, through hard work and service to others, they create something pure and sweet, which is honey. It's the sweetness of honey that reminds us to be kind to others. The B card asks you to consider if you feel fulfilled and connected in your relationships. This is what we talked about with your Ten of Wands. A lot of you may feel like you have to practice alone, like you're isolated. Again, this is about you guys living out loud, proud about your beliefs, okay? This is how you heal that witch wound. But it says here, this card asks you to consider if you feel fulfilled and connected in your relationships, or if you need to communicate your needs to others more. Remember to be kind whenever you can, and to meet any challenge with an open heart. Reflection says, what part of your life needs clear communication? How can you work more effectively with others? And pile one, this is it. This is all that I'm seeing for you guys. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Pile two, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be starting off with you guys' tarot cards. Then we'll be pulling some oracle messages to look into what witch wound you have and how to heal them. So starting off with the energy around your witch wound, we have the Six of Cups. And how to heal this wound, we have the Page of Cups in reverse. All right, pile two. This is interesting. So with the Six of Cups, there's a few scenarios coming through. So in a past life, or if you don't subscribe to the idea of like reincarnation, then in the past at some point, you may have performed spells for other people, magical, manifestation work for other people, energy work for other people. You may have even performed stuff like love or beauty spells. As a young child, you may have been very, very gifted as well spiritually. And you may have been very sensitive as a child. You may have been able to pick up on stuff as a child, because the Six of Cups is the card of innocence. It's the card of being very young, being very youthful, and even remembrance and memorializing things, kind of going back in time. We deal with when the Six of Cups shows up. Also too, in a past life, specifically in a past life, I guess you could have experienced this in this life as well, but you guys may have been accused of taking advantage of innocent people or impressionable people with the Six of Cups right here. That maybe, like, let's just say, for example, in a past life, like you used to do love spells for people, right? Other people hearing about and knowing the work that you provided for others, they may have accused you of being like was it snake oil salesman? Somebody that was like taking advantage of people that really wanted love in their life. And so you would promise them that you could do a love spell or something, and other people that didn't already believe in stuff like that may have called bullshit shit on it. You may have been accused of taking advantage of people who maybe were grieving or going through loss and they wanted a message from the other side, or looking to connect with a lost loved one. You know, people who are desperately in need. And again, they're very impressionable. They're very vulnerable with the Six of Cups right here. That is you guys' witch wound. You guys suffered a witch wound, and from either a past life or maybe even your past. If you don't believe in reincarnation, then this is something that could have happened earlier in life for you, where people made you doubt or question your gift with the Six of Cups right here. The witch wound that you guys suffered was from other people, not even necessarily doubting your work, but more so questioning your integrity, questioning what you were doing, what you were selling, what you were providing for people, if it was real. You may have been tested and challenged a lot in your past life or at some point in time in the past. You may deal with a lot of people even now to this day in your current lifetime, in your current incarnation, where they're like, oh, you're a psychic, well then go on ahead and tell me something that you shouldn't know. It's like you may deal with a lot of challenges, a lot of tests, a lot of doubters, a lot of naysayers, a lot of people that just, they want to doubt your gift. They don't want to believe in it. And so they may try to get you to doubt your own gifts and get you to question your own gifts. The witch wound that you guys suffered has almost led you guys to today, or at some point in time in your life, question if your gifts had a purpose, if you were meant to use them, if they're even real, if they even work. You guys may have doubted your gifts at some point along the way. You may have even felt a very strong sense of like imposter syndrome, or like, am I really, you may go through that even still to this day, kind of like back and forth, where sometimes you doubt your gifts, other times you believe in them. And you may have to frequently ground yourself in your gifts and in your spiritual gifts and your spiritual talents, and your spiritual skills, because without doing that, you may constantly go back and forth between like, is this really real? Is it not? Also too, pile two, this might be a little more specific, but another witch wound here is almost you guys being accused of taking advantage of other people because you may be charged for your gifts. And it's really important for you not to do this work for free, pile two. That's a very important message here for you. Do not be guilt tripped. Is that what it's called? Mercury's still retrograde. Anyways, don't be guilt tripped into doing this spiritual work for free. Okay? Don't do that. Nobody else does work for free. I mean, I guess some people do from time to time. They, they'll do something pro bono, or, they'll maybe gift some work or something like that out of the kindness of their heart. But you can't pay your bills with validation and people's approval. Okay? Do not be guilt tripped into not charging for the work that you do. For my spiritual people, spiritual practitioners, whatever it is that, other people come to you for your gifts. They come to you for your advice. They come to you for clarity. They come to you they're using your energy and they're using your time. There needs to be a transaction there, because it's exactly what's happening. Okay. And for you guys specifically, with the work that you do, you have a spiritual team around you that is also helping you do this work. You need to be properly compensated for what you do, for the time and the energy that it takes for you to pour into people spiritually and energetically. Do not run yourself ragged or thin by feeling guilty or ashamed for accepting money. Okay, your Page of Cups has shown up in reverse. Sometimes this can talk about difficulty in receiving. So how you heal your witch wound, pile two, with the Page of Cups in reverse, a lot of you in this pile, you have a fear of your gifts because you may feel like you can't or don't help enough. Your gift may sometimes kind of peek in and peek out because of your wavering faith in what you do. Or in other words, sometimes your gifts may go quiet with specific cases or specific people, and you don't get the information that you're asking for. This is another very important, specific message coming through from my pile twos. You do your work, right? Let's say you're a psychic medium and people come to you for, hey, I need a message from spirit, right? And people come to you for that message. Sometimes a message doesn't come through, not because you're not gifted. Sometimes it's because your spiritual team says, no, absolutely not. We will not be providing this person with the answers that they need for whatever reason. Okay. This is because your gifts are deeply tied into the spiritual realm. You have spiritual couriers that go between you and the spirit realm to deliver information to your clients or the people that you help, for instance, right? Or maybe even yourself. Sometimes you may even go to spirit for some sort of clarity or something, and it just goes silent. You don't hear anything. That is for a very specific reason. There are specific cases and specific people you don't get the information that you're looking for or asking for, or people leave dissatisfied because maybe they didn't hear what they wanted to hear or what they thought they were going to hear. That may be where you guys developed a complex or even a fear or some sort of insecurity with your gift because you don't know when it's going to go quiet. You don't know when the spirits are going to say, no, we won't help this one. And sometimes they refuse to help that specific person because it's not time for them to receive the answers or the clarity that they're looking for. We can't press spirit and say, hey, let me get this right here, right now. There's specific reasons for divine timing, for things to happen at the appointed time. And a lot of the times it happens in the way that it does or when it does in order to protect us. Because if you get something before you are spiritually, mentally, emotionally, or physically prepared for it, it could do more harm than good. And so sometimes, or a lot of the times when we get a no or we get a not yet, it is for our own protection. It's for our own good. But sometimes you guys as gifts, it may go silent with the Page of Cups in reverse right here. And you may never know. For you, you may feel like your gifts are very hit or miss. It's not that your gifts miss. It's not that. It's just that sometimes your spiritual team says, no, not this one, not right now, or not yet, or not this specific person, or they end up giving you information to, deliver to a specific person, and they don't like what they hear because maybe it's too real or it's too honest or it's too whatever. Because that's what we deal with the Page of Cups. That's what we deal with the cups in general. We can deal with a lot of idealism when it comes to the cups. So in other words, this can be dealing with a lot of fantasy. This can be dealing with a lot of romanticizing things where we have this idea in our head of people may come to you, in other words, with an idea of I want to contact my, this person on the other side. They've passed over, they've crossed over. I want to contact them about this relationship that they're in. And let's say that they come to you already with an idea in their head of oh, I just know that this person on the other side is going to love this new person that I'm in a relationship with. And the information that you get might be hell no, they don't like this person, and that may really upset that client or that person that came to you. So you guys may deal with that a lot. And again, it is not an indictment on your spiritual gifts. It's not an indictment on your abilities either. You cannot mince the words and the information that spirit gives you. It's very important to deliver it exactly as you get it. And so this is how you guys heal this witch wound here, is by accepting that you are not some circus act. You can't just turn your gifts on and off. You can't make it sound pretty when it's not. It's not always going to be the message that people want to hear. Sometimes it's going to be a no, and you're going to have to tell your clients that no, I can't help you, or the spirits that I work with aren't willing to work with you for whatever reason. You heal this wound by not running yourself or your gifts like a business, even though it may be a business for some of you guys. And again, it's transactional. So you do need to receive some sort of compensation for what you give. That is very important for you, pile 2. Okay. But don't run it like a business in the sense where it's okay, because they came to me, now I feel pressured, or I have to give this person what they're looking for or give them what they're asking for. This is not, your gifts are not a performance. Okay. And that is how you guys heal this wound here, is by standing firm on that, standing 10 toes down with that. Okay. Whether or not it pisses people off, hurts their feelings, upsets them, that can't be your concern, pile 2. Okay, that's really, really important for you guys. I'm going to pull from this past life oracle deck here just to see what we get for you. It could be really random, but let's just see what we get in terms of your witch wounds. What else do we need to know about your witch wound, pile 2? Ooh. Okay, we have here Egypt that flipped over, face up. You guys may feel very, 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 very connected to Egypt. Okay. We have these other cards here that fell face down. I'm still going to show you guys though. We have leaving or travel, love life, biblical and unrequited love. That's crazy because this is what I was picking up with you guys as Six of Cups, is that you guys may have performed like love spells, love rituals at some point, either in your past life or in the past. You guys may even do it right now, especially with these cards coming out for you, with love life and unrequited love. And it's funny that we have love life and unrequited love coming out, because this is what I'm saying. It's like you guys may have people that come to you with this very strong idea about what they're going to get from you. It feels like people sometimes come to you, pile two, to almost take advantage of your gifts or to use your gifts. And it's like they're unappreciative. It's like they're ungrateful. It's like they go to you thinking that you're like Best Buy, like you're not. It's like you're dealing with the spiritual realm. And a lot of people, they approach spiritual practitioners in a way where it's like, well, I'm willing to pay you, so why can't you? It's like, there's a lot more going on than just you handing me some money and giving me the name of someone that you want to be in a relationship with or that you're having issues with. Like, it is deeper than that. This isn't something where it's just, it's not a performance, right? And it's like, I keep getting the feeling that the people that come to you, they don't always respect your spiritual gifts. And between love life and unrequited love, you guys may have people that come to you and they try to almost force things to happen. Like with unrequited love, this is kind of reminding me of, it could be like literal, but I'm more so getting this like figuratively, where it's like, let's just say that you have a client that comes to you and they're like, yeah, you know, my person, they left me, they don't want to be with me anymore. I'm going to need you to do that love spell like right now. You know, it's like they're trying to like control how this relationship is going to go or the fate of this connection. And it's like, you can't. And it's like, they're like treating you like you're some, I don't know how to describe it. It's like they're kind of treating this like it's transactional or something. So that's very interesting to me that we have here 2 love cards coming out. Also too, though, you guys could be very, very gifted in doing love spells for people. With biblical here, what I'm picking up is like miracles, you know, miraculous things happening. So it's like the spiritual work that you guys do for other people, especially when you get like the green light from the spirit realm that like, yes, we will help you with this one. There could be like miracles that happen. Again, this is where you may feel like there's hit or miss sometimes with your gifts and with the work that you do. Because some people, they come back to you and they're like, oh my God, it worked better than I thought, or I got more than what I thought, or like whatever it is that you did, it really, really worked. And it could feel like this, you know, miraculous thing or this biblical thing that happens for the people that you do work with. And then also with leaving or travel, this again is for me connecting you guys to the other side. Like we have here with leaving or travel, this could definitely here be confirmation of you guys being like psychic mediums, able to kind of pierce that veil with leaving or travel here, and being able to pull information, divine information from the other side with leaving or travel. Also with leaving or travel, it is bringing to mind what came through is that you guys may feel like your gifts are hit or miss, or sometimes like your gifts almost leave you or go silent. And then with farm underneath the deck, I feel like this is also confirmation coming through, where again, you guys may feel like utility from time to time, or other people may make you feel that way, like you're just a instrument or a tool for them to get something that they want out of spirit. With farm right here, also too, this could be indicating that in a past life that you guys had lived a very quiet life, or felt more community, or you felt closer to nature or with animals. Also too, with farm right here, like in you guys' present day life, you may feel closer to animals, or like you just prefer to kind of live on your own, or live a slower life, or not be around too many, like a big groups of people all the time, or like living in the city life. You guys may prefer to live a little bit slower of a life. Also too, with farm here, this is a very like, you know, like a farm life is very hands-on. So you guys may be very hands-on types of people, or prefer to live that sort of life. This could also be saying that in order for you to recharge, to go be in nature, go be around animals, go and get hands on with something as well. Could be just saying more figuratively in order to kind of channel your energy, or to, especially if you guys do work with clients and you run some sort of a spiritual business, like being in nature, getting hands on is going to be a really good way for you guys to kind of exercise that excess energy that you may take on through your work, like getting your hands in the dirt. Like if you garden or something, like getting out there and, getting in the weeds and pulling them out and watering stuff, like just getting your hands involved, manual labor, stuff like that. It may be very, very effective when it comes to kind of getting rid of any excess energy from the work that you guys do. Okay. And then also too, like Egypt, you guys may have had a past life in Egypt too, for that to come out as well. You guys may have been some sort of a spiritual practitioner in Egypt too. Now, just because there was a very strong message that came through about those of my pile twos that run a spiritual business, I just want to pull a message when it comes to those of you that were drawn to this pile that run a spiritual business, or you get paid for any sort of energy work. I just want to see what messages we get for you. Okay, we have here windfalls. Underneath the deck, we had setbacks in reverse. Windfall says you're about to receive a windfall of money or a pay raise. Money is currently in a positive cycle. This is a great time to treat yourself or make that big purchase. Then we have here setbacks. I was underneath the deck and it was in reverse. It says your attempts to increase your income have been largely unsuccessful. This financial setback is forcing you to get more organized with your finances. Do not lose hope. Use this time to learn from your mistakes. So windfall jumped out for you. Setbacks was underneath the deck in reverse for you. For those of you drawn to this pile that run a spiritual business, or you get paid to do, energy work for other people, or there's some sort of, energetic transaction, like maybe you're a therapist, for example, just know that you guys are about to start making a lot more money with your spiritual business for windfall to jump out for you. Wherever you guys were set back before, because maybe you were trying to help people spiritually or energetically, or maybe you just felt called to use your gifts to help other people, but you experienced some setbacks in wanting to get into maybe like a spiritual business or start a spiritual business, something like that. You guys may have experienced some setbacks in the beginning, or you may have gone through a season that felt like it set you back financially. Again, this is why that very strong message came through, to not feel guilt tripped into not charging people. Okay. Like, get compensated for your work. Do not allow yourself to be financially like drained or set back, or deal with any sort of financial loss because you feel uncomfortable accepting money for the work and the time and the energy that you put into what you do. Okay. Once you guys start getting more comfortable with accepting payment for what you provide for other people, you're going to see a huge shift, like a night to day shift, like that, like a switch flips, where you go from being financially set back to experiencing a windfall. Because again, setbacks was underneath the deck in reverse. Windfall fell out for you. Okay. But this is, you're just going to want to get more comfortable with, again, receiving compensation. Like, you guys are putting your energy into stuff. You're spending your time trying to help others. So get comfortable with receiving. Okay, let's see. Let's grab a message here from the Akashic Records about your witch wound. Okay, we've got gratitude, and then we've got wisdom. Gratitude says there's always something to be grateful for, even in the darkest of situations. Now is the time to recognize what is going well in your life and what you are thankful for. Then we have wisdom underneath the deck. You've been here before and you know what to do, yet you fear disappointing others. What did we talk about with you guys' gifts over here? It's like the witch wound that you guys suffered is other people making you doubt your gifts. And it may have led a lot of you guys to feeling insecure or anxious or scared of letting other people down with your gifts, depending on what comes through when you're in. And it says, yet you fear disappointing others. The wise choice may not be the popular choice. Okay. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to read that again. The wise choice may not be the popular choice, but choose for the highest good in the situation. This is total confirmation of what came through earlier for you guys, that you are not a circus act. This is not a performance. If people come to you and they say, hey, I need help with this spiritually, and spirit says, no, I can't help you, and that's what you tell them, and they get mad, oh well, that is not your concern. You have to stay true to your gifts. You have to stay true to the integrity of your gifts, okay? Don't abuse them because people, they come to you with a certain idea in their head. That's on them. That's their problem. That's something that they need to work out. Okay. Like this would be like going to the doctor and being pissed when they say, well, you got high blood pressure because you need to start eating better. Right. It's like, you can't get mad at the doctor. Like it's not their fault that maybe you need to make some lifestyle changes. It is the same exact thing when it comes to your spiritual workings. Okay. So you guys are offering people your wisdom. And also be grateful. Be grateful for the gifts that you have. The gifts that you have, they're beautiful. They help people. They're meant to help people, but they are not to be abused. And that may be why sometimes as well, Spirit tells you, no, you can't help this one because they're not going to appreciate. They're not going to be grateful for what you provide them. Okay. Sometimes Spirit might want these people to learn, be grateful before you just, try to come to me and just get whatever it is that you're looking for. And then let's get a final message about you guys' witch wound and how to heal it. Let's see what we get with you, pile 2. Okay, we have here altar. Wow, gratitude came out again. Gratitude. It says gratitude and releasing burdens. Okay, you guys, don't carry this burden of trying to, perform for other people. Stay true to your gifts. Okay, this is not about staying true to people. Stay true to your gifts. But altar here, we have your altar. Some of you may need to set up an altar if you don't have one. That could also help you as well to get more hands-on too when it comes to your spiritual practices and healing that witch wound. Underneath the deck here, we have oak tree, power, courage, and strength. Okay. So I'm going to read altar out of the book for you. And so the message about you guys' witch wound through altar says, it is important to make time and space for connecting with spirit. Yeah, in that space, look into your heart for truths. The altar card can help you reflect on your blessings and what you need to express gratitude for. Conversely, look inside for the truth about your challenges. There may be something that you need to release to the universe in order to grow and flourish, or a burden that you need to surrender so that you can move forward. And the altar can help. Take stock of what you are grateful for. Think about what you can offer nature or spirit to share your blessings. Reflection says what isn't serving you and can be released into the universe for you to move on. So yeah, you guys, like, be grateful for the spiritual gifts that you have. Don't allow anyone else, if you've been dealing with that, don't allow anyone else to make you doubt your gifts. Something that was given to you by the divine, by spirit, by God, by the Most High, was literally gifted to you because your soul is meant to do this work. Don't allow anybody on the face of this planet or in the universe to make you doubt your gifts and your calling and your purpose just because they didn't hear what they wanted to hear. Okay. But pile 2, this is it. This is all that I'm saying for you guys. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Pile 3, welcome to your readings. So we're going to be starting off you guys' tarot cards, and then I'll be pulling some oracle messages to look into your witch wound and how you heal it. Okay, so starting off the energy around your witch wound, we have here the moon and how you heal it. We got the 4 of Wands coming out. Again, it actually came out for pile 1. So you may have been kind of checking out, eyeing pile 1 as well. You maybe even listened to it. Okay, so pile 3. Your witch wound with the moon card right here, it actually centers around being mislabeled. People thinking or even accusing you of darker practices because they didn't understand or couldn't label you per se. You may have been a witch or just a person in a past life, or if you don't believe in reincarnation, then just like in an earlier time in your life, and at some point in your life, you may have experienced just being someone that was accepting of many different beliefs and styles, and your resistance to categorizing or labeling yourself or saying, I only practice the light, or I only practice the dark, or I only believe in this, or I absolutely don't do that. Your lack of like labeling yourself, it left a lot of assumptions to be made that kind of like ran wild. So to this day, many of you may be sensitive or feel like you're being judged even when you're not. You may naturally get uncomfortable when people ask questions or try to dig into your beliefs. You may be very private and refuse to tell people what you believe in. And this is where it stems from, for sure. It stems from having a lot of experience of being judged and criticized and accused, being ostracized or forced into isolation just so people left you alone, just so you weren't being talked about or picked on. So in this life, you are naturally a lone wolf who chooses to walk alone or practice alone. Also, your beliefs or perceptions or theories may have been too out there. Again, either in a past life or at some point in time in your current life. You may have been told by someone else that like what you believe or how you see things is just too different. And you guys may have never really fit in. So let's say that like in your past life or in your past, you did try to find your place in a certain community. Let's say you did try to join, I don't know, a church or something, right? The way that you interpreted the texts or the Bible, or maybe the questions that you had, it came off as you were too defiant to be a part of a system. Not even in like a rebellious way, but it's almost like you challenged the way that things were simply by asking questions or simply by how you saw things. It's like you weren't compliant enough, because moon card is the card of not coloring inside the lines. If there was any card in tarot that says you cannot contain or control me, it is 1000% the moon card. That's why this card is associated with the unknown, fear, paranoia, anxiety, because in the moon card, the senses are dulled. It's dark. The only light that's out in the moon card is the full moon itself. So I can't necessarily see what's happening, but I'm hearing sounds and I'm sensing things that I can't place. I can't define it, which leaves room for a lot of guesswork and a lot of assumptions. Okay, so if you just imagine being outside at night in a forest, the only light around you is a full moon, you're not going to be able to even see the hand in front of your face. You may still be able to hear things happening around you though, but because you can't visibly see what's going on around you, the mind runs wild trying to figure out what's going on, trying to assume what's going on. And the moon card is ruled by Pisces. This is the sign of transcendence, meaning Pisces and the moon card, they never distinguish themselves enough to be identified or clarified. And so when you're dealing with that level of like neutrality or ambiguity, it's too open-minded or undefined for some people to consider safe. And so it can lead some people to just seeing this as like a threat. If I don't know what it is, then it has to be threatening. It has to be something bad. Moon card and moon energy is primal, and it cannot be controlled, tamed, or told what to be. It's too wild. And that just leads some people to the conclusion that this is threatening. This is bad. This isn't good. And so you were seen the same way as a threat, or maybe radical to a particular system or order or a set of rules, because you were too progressive and tolerant. You were too curious and too eager to not just learn, but even understand, right? And so, how it's like people can join a certain religion and, they once they start reading into things, they might have questions because they're actually trying to understand. They're not just trying to retain the verses or remember the texts. They're actually trying to decipher it, to understand it, to comprehend it. And they want to take it in as knowledge. Meanwhile, most people, they may not ask questions or dig into what these words mean, what this book is saying. And you guys with the moon card here, you're more so the people that's like, okay, sure, this book says this, but what does it mean? Right? And so it's like Pisces and moon card are energies that are meant to be experienced and observed. You guys were looking for something more, not to be told how to think. You were looking for understanding, in other words. So someone or something, it didn't want you engaged enough to ask questions. It wanted you submissive and absent-minded. And because I said so, or because that's just how things are, never sufficed for you. And you may have grown up like that as well. Just kind of like, I'm curious. I got questions. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to come to my own conclusion. And again, that can be seen as a threatening to some people. Now, how to heal this wound? You've got the Four of Wands. Very simple here. Community. This is how you heal this wound. Find or create your circle and immerse yourself in it. Community, a sense of family, is going to heal this wound. Naturally, you guys are lone wolves and you prefer to be a lone wolf, but isolating is not going to heal this wound. If anything, it's just going to reinforce it. It's just going to feed it. True fulfilling connections and people that feel like kindred souls is going to deeply enrich your life. And that is what you guys need to do in order to heal this wound, is to find your circle, find your people. It might be small, it might be small, but find your people and grow your knowledge together, learn together. You have to find other souls that are as deep as you, that are as curious as you. And it might feel unnatural to be that way because, again, you guys, a lot of you in this pile, you feel like you're just naturally a lone wolf. At least from my end, you feel like you just naturally are independent or to yourself, and you like it that way. You prefer it that way. You may not warm up to people as easily, especially when it comes to like sharing your beliefs. You guys prefer to keep that private. But you guys, in order to heal this witch wound, you have to do the opposite of what feels natural to you. This is about being a little bit more open and a little more surface level, in the sense that it's like, instead of hiding your beliefs behind all these different layers of yourself, wear them a little more close to the chest, where people have an easier time seeing you for who you are, with the Four of Wands right here. Because the more easily that people can see what you resonate with or what you believe in, the easier it's going to be for you to find your tribe, with the Four of Wands right here. Okay, let's start grabbing some oracle cards for you. I'm just going to pull from this past life oracle deck just to see what we get. It could be super duper random, but let's just see what we get in terms of your witch wound. Oops. Okay, yeah, we've got spirituality, religion, mother and spouse came out underneath that. And then we have high priest or priestess. This is why you guys go so deep. This is why you go so deep. Besides the fact that we have mother here, mother could be literal, as in, your mother may have tried to pass down her beliefs, especially with spirituality and religion right here. It could have even been a spouse. So this could be like another parental figure, or somebody that you had a really close relationship with. They also could have had some very strong beliefs that made you feel like you had to almost keep yours private. Or this could be saying that the closest people to you in your life, which is like a parent figure, right, with mother here, and then spouse, somebody that we commit ourselves to, these could be the people that make you feel like you have found your tribe and like you are allowed to be yourself. Again, you guys may believe in having a really tight knit, close circle with mother and spouse here. But we've got spirituality and religion and high priest or priestess. Again, you guys, it's like some of you guys, you definitely try to be a part of some sort of community with spirituality and religion coming out here. But again, it's like because you didn't like fall in line enough, or you were too curious, or you asked too many questions, it's almost like it didn't work because they didn't really want you that engaged at the same time. And with high priest or priestess, this is why you guys were so deep. You get so deep into your beliefs because in a past life, we'll say, or something about your soul has a lot of wisdom regarding spiritual practices or religions or esotericism, stuff like that. You have a lot of wisdom. You spend a lot of lifetimes gaining a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom when it comes to spirituality, spiritual practices, the deeper parts of life. You guys may even be like a life path 7. You could even have like be like a master number. Yeah. 11, 22, 33. Is 44 one? I don't know. But I know 11, 22, 33 is. You guys may be your life path may be a master number, or you may be a life path 7. Life path 7s are, yes, very, very strongly connected to why are we here? What are we doing here? Just the deeper sides of life, trying to see through the veil. But also too, with mother here, you guys try to get to the root. Okay. Mother is also, when it comes to, archetypes or esotericism, the mother represents the roots, where we come from, what we inherited. You guys inherited a lot of knowledge with high priest or priestess right here. And you inherited a lot of knowledge when it comes to spirituality in general. And this may be why for you get to the spiritual sides of religions. So you may have tried to be a part of an organized religion, or you may actually be a part of an organized religion. But for you, it's also very spiritual. This is something where it's like you're intimately connected to, your religion or religious practices and stuff like that. And you guys may have a lot of knowledge. Okay. Also to its spouse, this is more confirmation of you guys just being more vulnerable, a little more open about your beliefs, so that you can connect more deeply with people. Because when it comes to a spouse, like, we marry people that we feel we know intimately. And intimacy doesn't just have to do with like a physical connection. It's more so about feeling like you really know that person and like you're really connected. Again, like it's a kindred soul, like it's a soulmate, like it's your soul partner. So for you guys with the spouse card right here, there is people that you are meant to walk this spiritual path with in this lifetime. Even though you guys may prefer to keep your beliefs to yourself, you may prefer to worship by yourself, you may prefer to, do your spiritual practices by yourself, you may prefer to keep a lot of your beliefs to yourself. You guys are meant to find kindred souls, kindred spirits, soulmates, in other words, with the spouse card right here. Okay, so this is like almost like a spiritual spouse too. With the spouse card right here, you guys are meant to, it might not be a huge community, it might be a really small, tight-knit community that you guys are meant to find. And again, this is total confirmation of what came through when it came to, healing your witch wound, is that developing a sense of family, having a sense of family and community is going to heal this wound. And we have here spouse and mother, which is, family. All right, and let's just pull an Akashic Records message about your witch wound. What you need to know about your witch wound. Something flip over. Oh, okay. We have authenticity. Be your divine self at all times. Yeah, you were not designed to fit in. That's exactly what. Okay, so this is total confirmation that a lot of you guys are definitely lone wolves. It says you weren't designed to fit in. Break away from expectations and fully express yourself in your own unique way, and you will be a magnet for success. Again, this is about you guys wearing your heart on your sleeve a little bit more. There's a lot of shame here connected to you guys' witch wound. It says you've carried this burden far too long. It's time to release the guilt that you've placed on yourself and start a new chapter in your life. Set a new goal and begin taking action towards happiness. You guys felt a lot of shame, or were made to feel a lot of shame for just how you saw things. You can't help that you just saw things through different eyes or differently, right? And again, something about you was just so progressive. It was so because of how you saw things. You saw things so differently, and other people convinced you to feel maybe ashamed of that, or they convinced you to keep those ideas and thoughts to yourself because they're too far out there. They're too wild. They're too different, right? But authenticity, this is how you guys heal that witch wound. This is how you release that shame and heal that shame that's tied to your witch wound, is by authentically standing in your strangeness and your weirdness, and the fact that it's like, no, not everybody is going to get it. I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine, right? So this is, again, this is why that message kind of came through, that your soul tribe, it might be kind of small. It might be a little bit small, but I feel as though too, like, you guys almost prefer it that way. You prefer it to be a little more small than to be connected to a whole bunch of people, because you want to feel appreciated. You don't want to deal with other people trying to force you into a box or force you to label yourself, or, like, you don't want to feel confined. And there's very few souls that may not feel intimidated or threatened by how different you are. Okay, let's just get a final message here for you, pile 3, with your witch wound. And we have Cauldron, creation, opportunity, caring. Underneath the deck, we have buds, new beginnings, and expansion. A message about your witch wound, pile 3, with Cauldron says, self-transformation, one of the central goals of witchcraft, can be intimidating. The Cauldron card reassures you that brewing change is a chance to create new opportunities for yourself as well as those around you. This can be as simple as adopting a fresh outlook. The Cauldron encourages you to think creatively and to try combining things that may not seem to work together at first glance to solve a problem. The Cauldron is also a symbol of nourishing yourself and others. Caring for those around you is an enriching pursuit for all involved. I literally use the word enriching or enriched. It's going to enrich your life. Yeah, once you find your tribe with the 4 of Wands. And it literally says here, caring for those around you is an enriching pursuit for all involved. You guys are definitely meant to find your tribe. If you haven't yet, you will, okay? And it might be a close-knit, tight, small community, but it is going to seriously fulfill you. And then reflection here says, are you avoiding brainstorming different solutions when faced with a problem? So you guys, like, really embrace how different you think. Embrace how different you are. This is like totally Aquarius energy here. Aquarius, Pisces energy, like really embrace it. Okay, and then buds here says, new beginnings and expansion. A bud is one of the earliest visual confirmations that the seed you planted is hard at work. Whether a budding leaf or bloom, it's proof that your endeavor is in motion. So far, so good. Buds are tender, delicate things, however, which still need close attention and care. Extreme weather can damage them, as can neglect. The buds card shows that you can interpret the success of this first stage as a positive sign, but don't assume the buds can handle the next stages on their own. Buds represent the first checkpoint in a project. Things are expanding, but not complete. Continue to tend and encourage them, as without buds, there can be no fruit. Have confidence. The success of your first stage promises that you can achieve your goal. And reflection here says, are there things in your life that you have left unfinished or abandoned? And how can you help complete them? And pile 3, this is it. This is all that I'm saying for you guys. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.